Yo, what's going on everybody? This is Marcus and we are back for another episode of Marcus on Top, as I will be bringing out this interesting team that features Ray Ogre and Raichu that I built for a Nugget Bridge tour just a couple of weeks ago, I think. I don't know. Yeah, after a few videos that feature Dialga, I am going back to the Rayquaza and Kyogre core, kinda. I used that a lot on the channel already, so I probably want to feature a Groudon team after that again to get some diversity going. But yeah, in this meta game, I don't know, like sometimes it's just not that easy to mix things up, especially if you are on like a decent rating on Battlespot. Like I wouldn't expect stuff like, I don't know, Giratina or Mewtwo to work too well. I mean, they certainly can perform even at the highest level of competition. Occasionally, but in general you don't want to, I don't know, have stuff that is not too good if you can instead use stuff like Kyogre Rayquaza. I don't know. Not making too much sense here, but we're jumping right into the first battle against a Japanese opponent who is rocking a team that resembles the Big Six and only has Thundurus here in place over Kangaskhan. I might have actually played that guy already, but with a team that is as common as his lineup, that might have as well been another guy. So my team is built because, I don't know, I just really felt like using Raichu that day. And yeah, this Raichu has some surprises that we might get to see or might not get to see. We will find out. And I actually, Raichu doesn't look too bad here against the Thundurus and Smeargle and so on, but let's think about this. We definitely want Kyogre, we probably want Ferrothorn for that Xerneas. Talonflame, Landorus? Yeah, I think actually Raichu Landorus doesn't look too bad, or Raichu Talonflame. But then if he has Salamence, that really hurts a Raichu Talonflame. Actually, what about Raichu Kyogre? But yeah, I like that. Let's try Raichu Kyogre here. Since, yeah, thanks to Lightning Rod, we don't really have to worry too much about that Thundurus. So maybe he will just lead with something like Xerneas Smeargle. And then we have options like we can switch into Rayquaza to cover for a Groudon switch in, or we can have Ferrothorn in the back. I don't know. Talonflame also would have been really nice, but I don't know, sometimes people like still bring their Thundurus to the battle even though they see Raichu, and I didn't want to have to deal with stuff like that. So we're actually seeing a Talonflame and Salamence lead coming out from my opponent. So, what would have been good against that? Yeah, that is like one of the standard leads, I would guess, from like Big Six kind of teams against Rayquaza Kyogre. And there's not really too much I could have done against that. I actually think we're in a like semi-decent position. We do have the option to go for a Fake Out right here. We could go for Ice Beam. So even if he switched into his Groudon, that like wouldn't prevent the damage. We could expect him to stay in here, and now you're seeing the moveset. I am using one of those physical Raichus that have been seen in the UK, most notably being used by Jamie Boyd, but I also faced one of those at the Stockholm Regionals, used by a player from the UK. So I think this is Raichu. Does it speed tie? No, I think it's 1 point slower than Adamant Talonflame, so it's not an option to go for that. I think we will actually go for that Fake Out and Ice Beam into the Salamence. So even if he switches into Groudon, which he will probably do seeing as Talonflame goes out here, we should be able to at least get off that KO on the Salamence unless he protects that. And if he did that, then we could go from there. Another play I could have made was go for like Feint and Ice Beam on the Salamence to punish a potential Protect. However, you have to watch out for stuff like Brave Bird and Double Edge, double targeting into the Kyogre if you want to go for something like that. And yeah, by going for Fake Out and Ice Beam, I made sure that we cannot be KO'd this turn bearing like Double Edge Crit or whatever. So let's see, the safest play for him though might be to just protect with his Salamence anyway, and yep, that is what he will go for. So yeah, pretty defensive play by my opponent here, but really working out for him as he is able to put himself into a better position, has the weather advantage now, and the question is, can we just switch into Rayquaza and go for the water type attack anyway? Or do we not want to risk that? We could pull a double switch here into Ferrothorn and Rayquaza, but nope, that's actually not really going to work. Expecting either like Precipice Blades or Eruption, but like a spread type attack coming out from that Groudon, and that is definitely really annoying. So maybe actually switching into Rayquaza and going for the Scald might be something. Or we could also just nuzzle that Salamence and protect our Kyogre. I think that actually doesn't look too... It doesn't sound too bad, does it? Since then, next turn we are threatening a KO with Ice Beam on that slot, and we're also still threatening the switch into Rayquaza. And maybe he protects Groudon here, but nope, he's not fearing a switch into Rayquaza, or he is just confident that he will outspeed us. So we will get off this Nuzzle, maybe at the cost of the Raichu. But yeah, Nuzzle guaranteed to Para here, so that is kind of nice. And let's see what will Groudon go for. Okay, yeah, just the Eruption, so... yeah, I wanted to keep the Focus Sash on my Rayquaza intact, as that is the item I'm using here. Eruption plus Hyper Voice enough to knock out that Raichu. Even though we have an interesting item that I will probably talk about in the second game if we get to bring Raichu, or in one of the upcoming episodes if I decide to use this team for a little bit longer. So yeah, right here I think we're pretty safe. Switching into Rayquaza and switching into Ferrothorn wouldn't really make much sense. And I guess the play I can make here is to go for a Water Spout with my Kyogre and just a Dragon Ascent with the Rayquaza, I think. Now my opponent does not know our moveset, and he could expect something like a Draco Meteor coming out, and maybe he wants to switch into Xerneas, though maybe that's a little bit too far-fetched. But anyway, I do think Dragon Ascent plus Water Spout should cover most of our options, or most of the options that my opponent has here. Yeah, Water Spout should still be enough to deal a good amount of damage to that Groudon, even if he goes for, say, Precipice Blades. He can't switch in the Talonflame, he can't really switch in Xerneas either, so I feel pretty confident by going for that play. And he actually switches out the Salamence. So let's see if it's the Xerneas, and yep, there it is, so... Nice. This play looks like it will work out, as we will get off that Dragon Ascent. Now we could have Mega Evolved here and dealt like even more damage, while we also would have been able to outspeed the Xerneas next turn. However, I didn't want to go for that in case my opponent decided to switch out his Groudon to get weather control back in his favor. And yeah, by not Mega Evolving, we will keep Airlock, and yeah, that could be nice for the late game. And I do believe that if that Water Spout is not enough to knock out that Xerneas, then Extreme Speed would do the trick anyway. So there was not really any need, but Water Spout just picks up the KO and that Xerneas goes down. So I'm really liking our position here. Probably the only choice my opponent has is to switch into their Talonflame right now. Because bringing in the Parrot Mance, which is what he does actually, I think that just gets him into the same position than we were the turn before. And, I'm not sure why he wouldn't go into Talonflame. I mean, even if he went into Talonflame, that's probably still like a losing position. But that at least gives you some room to breathe. And now I think we can just Mega Evolve Dragon Ascent and go for another Water Spout. Could also Ice Beam the Salamence and Dragon Ascent into that Groudon, which would be interesting. But I think just going for Water Spout is the safer play. My opponent just forfeits here. Wow, okay. So he didn't really want to, yeah, like give himself another shot at winning this game, as we got ourselves into a position where we had, like, yeah, just that one option to fire off a Water Spout, even though if it was like not powered by the rain. The fact that, yeah, we got the Para on Salamence just decided the game already. Since, yeah, in the Big Six matchup, or like in a matchup against those Xerneas Groudon teams, the most important thing is really to just get yourself into the position where you can get off that one powerful Water Spout, because the only Water type resistance on Big Six teams, or like with Thundurus, like it's the same, that also doesn't have Water type resistance, is that Salamence, and Salamence not exactly the best switch into a Water Spout anyway. So yeah, we got off that Para with the Nuzzle from Raichu, and after that he really couldn't do much. Yeah, I do think though, if he brought in the Talonflame, then maybe like with a critical hit he might have had a shot at winning, but my opponent didn't feel like trying his luck there, and yeah, that is a very, very quick game. for the first battle here in today's episode. So, by the way, let's talk a little bit about the comment of the day, which is coming out by Whited Note. Shoutouts to you. I've seen you around quite a lot in my comment section as well, but this comment is actually coming from a video that Wolfie uploaded on his channel, which was a collaboration between him and me. You don't want to name yourself first, as the communication was interrupted. Wow, I hope we don't get that strange bug kind of thing where now you run into someone with like 1400 or something. So anyway, he commented that he liked my hair and Wolfie's beard, but he prefers my beard over his hair. And that also, like, I don't know, made me laugh because there was this picture here by Keon Spy on Twitter where he swapped, like, did like a face and beard swap. I don't know what you would call it, but yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Should I get a beard like this? Should Wolfie get my hair? We're not sure yet, still thinking about it, but I thought that was pretty funny, so I wanted to share that with you anyway. As always, the link to Wolfie's channel will be in the description, and yeah, definitely check him out, show him some love, and subscribe to him, and so on. And an opposing trainer could not be found, okay. So I'm actually preferring that over finding one of those 1400 rating guy, because for whatever reason, like whenever I'm like up pretty high and then you get like this disconnection kind of thing, the next opponent I would hit would always be like in like the 1400s, and then it would be like that Japanese guy with like big 6 or whatever, and then he just crushes you. I don't know. Maybe you have come across that phenomenon as well, but I thought, yeah, it's preferable to face someone who is also highly rated, just so you don't lose too many points on losing. But yes, so our team is pretty standardish. I talked about that a little bit already. We do have the focus session on Rayquaza, and yeah, let's just talk about the item on the Raichu just for a little bit. Oh, actually we found a trainer. Oh, as it will be a Japanese player with a rating of 18 and 75, so let's see what he has and what he brings to the table. It is yet another Groudon and Xerneas combination, however this time paired up with what looks to be a Trick Room mode with Bronzong here. Now, you've probably seen Aaron use his Regionals team on Road to Ranked, which features the dual primal options and also has that Smeargle and Bronzong engine that was, I'm not entirely sure, probably invented by PokeAlex, but he was definitely the first one where I saw it, where you do go for, yeah, like stuff like, I don't know, you have like the Smeargle. Oh, nah, I think the first one that actually used Crafty Shield Smeargle, at least in like a big tournament, was Pentagram from Canada, who used it to win one of the Gloria Classic qualifier, but he had Cresselia and not Bronzong. But anyway, you use Smeargle to set up Trick Room, and you probably know what will happen then, and you have like Mint Speed Groudon. However, seeing the Xerneas here is definitely interesting, so maybe this is actually support Smeargle, and that he could also lead with like Smeargle Xerneas. Do we want to switch up the plan from last game a little bit? We probably do. So Bronzong is definitely threatening. Maybe just leading with Talonflame here instead could help. Raichu Talonflame? Yeah, actually I like that a little bit. Now if he decides to go for the Bronzong matchup, then we are in for... yeah, that could be a little bit problematic. But if he decides to go with anything else, then I think setting up Tailwind could really be beneficial here in this game. But yeah, let's see what will happen. You never really know in those teams, like, are they going for the hardcore Trick Room setup and really dedicate, like, if you lead Smeargle and Bronzong, your damage output is like close to 0, but he actually decides to go with the Bronzong. However, has Kangaskhan right next to it. So... yeah, we really want to prevent Trick Room from going up. He could expect us to have Taunt, but he could also have a Mental Herb. So that could be threatening. Yeah, I'm thinking, how can we possibly stop Trick Room from going up? One line that we could go for would be fake out the Bronzong, switch into Rayquaza, and then overheat Wall Tackle Bronzong the next turn, since most of those Bronzong do not carry Protect. But if he goes for a double edge this turn, and he would also like Mega Evolve, things could get pretty bad. But I think we probably want to fake out the Bronzong either way. And then, I don't know, maybe we just try to go for a Flare Blitz. Maybe he decides to go for a double edge instead, but it looks like he went for a non-Mega fake out here. Yep, there it is. So he didn't want to get faked out by a Raichu, keeping the inner focus on his Kangaskhan, and that actually could have been the opportunity to switch into Rayquaza, since yeah, he didn't Mega Evolve, we would have been faster even with our non-Mega Rayquaza. So yeah, then we would have been able to potentially go for that play with Overheat, but I guess we will just try our luck with Flare Blitz and Volt Tackle here regardless. He could switch into Groudon, but he can only take out one of our guys if he does that. So yeah, I'm willing to take the risk here because I really want to get rid of that Bronzong. But nope, no switches coming out. Yeah, like if he had the Kyogre in the back, then that would have been like a lot more difficult to go into for the Flare Blitz, but he actually goes for the Sucker Punch, and it is not enough to pick up the KO on Talonflame. Wow. So yeah, just because he didn't Mega Evolve here, we might be able to KO this Bronzong with Volt Tackle and Flare Blitz. That probably was a damage roll. We don't run much bulk, and I think a player of this caliber definitely like knows the calcs here behind this. But yeah, getting rid of the Bronzong is definitely huge, because now he probably doesn't have a way to set up Trick Room unless his Smeargle, for whatever reason, carries it. And yeah, we trade Talonflame for his Bronzong, but that is a fantastic trade for us, because that allows us to, yeah, stop his way of speed control, and now we can probably just win this game. Now, if you bring Bronzong and Kangaskhan, does that mean that you bring your two restricted mons in the back? Because then he would most likely just switch in his Xerneas. Or does it mean that you bring Groudon and Smeargle, for example? This is still far from being over, though. We could go into Rayquaza, but if he sends out... Actually, if we bring in Kyogre and he brings in Groudon, that is not too bad, not too great for us, and if he brings in Xerneas, that's also not too great. So I guess we will go into Rayquaza for now and see what he will go for. So maybe it will be his Xerneas, and then he definitely has still a very good shot at winning this game, and yep, there is the Xerneas. Yeah, since we did not have room for that Ferrothorn, or we didn't make the room for it, I should say, Xerneas and Kangaskhan really troublesome for us. So we do have Nuzzle on this Raichu, and we definitely have to make it count here. So this is actually a pretty interesting game. Could go for the Nuzzle into the Xerneas, but if he goes for Protect and Double Edge, for example, that would be really bad. Or we could Nuzzle the Kangaskhan and predict it to go for that. We can't Mega Evolve with the Rayquaza either. But we really can't get, like, we can't let this Xerneas get off the Geomancy. So I'm going for the Nuzzle in that slot. Let's see, okay, no Protect coming out from his Xerneas. He probably just goes straight for the Geomancy, I would guess. So we will be able to paralyze that Xerneas for the moment. And let's see what his Kangaskhan went for. Let's hope he targeted down our Rayquaza. But he actually just went straight for the Dazzling Gleam here. Okay, so didn't even bother going for the Geomancy. And Double Edge will come out into the Rayquaza. This is perfect, because our Raichu actually has the Assault Vest. Now you could have probably guessed that from the damage. So it was able to take that Dazzling Gleam relatively nice. And for the next turn we could go for a Feint and Dragon Ascent into his Xerneas, but that probably doesn't KO. We could also go for Nuzzle into his Kangaskhan, but maybe he just goes for a Sucker Punch. Could Feint somewhere. We have quite a few options, but none of them look really great. If we Nuzzle and we Dragon Ascent, the Xerneas. Okay, no Sucker Punch comes out, so let's see what he went for. If he went for the Double Edge onto the Rayquaza, but our Rayquaza is actually outspeeding him here. Okay, so we will be able to get off that Dragon Ascent, and I think we're probably hoping for any full para on either of his mons here, so that we would be able to still take this game. But his Kangaskhan doesn't get the full para, and after the Dragon Ascent, that is a easy knockout on our Rayquaza. So that would probably just mean the end of the game for us if he has Groudon in the back. Let's hope his Xerneas is at least fully parried. Maybe that could help us. But nope, it goes straight for the Dazzling Gleam, and yeah, that will be the end. Wow. So yeah, probably didn't make the best choice by going for that Nuzzle, and maybe I don't know. It's really tough. We could have Mega Evolved. I guess maybe it would have been like better to just Mega Evolve Rayquaza the turn where I protected, and then just really dedicate to try and knock out either of his mons and go for like a Volt Tackle. But yeah, he could have also gone for the Geomancy. But yeah, so right now we will have Ground and everything would be fine, but like he will have his Ground in the back, so he will be able to just KO us with like, I don't know, Precipice Blades. And we cannot go for Water type attacks, unfortunately. So yeah, I think we definitely needed to Mega Evolve and then make sure that his Ground hits the field before our Kyogre does, so KO something. But yeah, with Raichu being so frail, you can never tell whether that is going to like survive the turn or not. So I will go for the Water Spout here, but he actually makes yeah, the play and switches into his Groudon. It could have been an option for him to try and go for the Sucker Punch, then we might have had a chance with like Ice Beam, and if he has Precipice Blades as his only attacking move to still get lucky there with some misses or something, but nope, he won't give us this chance. So yeah, we needed to probably Ice Beam that slot and hope for a full para on the Xerneas, but nope, he won't get it. Moonblast will come out, so there was no chance of winning this game anyway, I guess. Even getting the special attack drop. So yeah, this will be the end of this game. Get rid of the Bronzong, but just having the Talonflame and the Raichu, two very, very frail mons, I wasn't able to maneuver myself in a position where I felt comfortable Mega Evolving Rayquaza, and that probably cost us the game. He has Precipice Blades, and he did miss his first attempt here, but Ice Beam doing no damage to his Groudon, which seems to be very bulky in special defense, but yeah, we also did get that special attack drop. Also, the fact that we are outspeeding heavily indicates that he is built for Trick Room. Once again, we avoid and he is parried, but yeah, there's just no chance of winning this game. I mean, technically there is, but he could just also go for a Fire type attack here to make it absolutely clear. But nope, just another Precipice Blades. Okay, maybe he didn't want to show what Fire type attack he's running, but he will be able to take down our Kyogre and take home this game. So, major mistake, not Mega Evolving Rayquaza and just lacking a little bit of damage output. Maybe just going, yeah, if we went for, let's think this through. But he comes in, like, he's slower, so he would Primal Revert after us, so Sun would have been up if we Mega Evolved. I don't know, just Volt Switch and Dragon Ascent into Kangaskhan probably could have won the game. Yeah, that would have won the game, but... So we had to predict whether the Sucker Punch would be coming out or not. I don't know. He played well, and yeah, we probably get lucky with our Talonflame surviving that Fake Out and Sucker Punch combination in the first place. But yep, that'll be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. I will be using the team for a little bit and then also like leave a paste spin. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about Raichu. And I don't know. That is it. So have a great day, see you soon, and goodbye.